How do Aries and Capricorn get on in love, relationships, romance, and sex? Well, I have a really good example of this one. Celine Dion is an Aries, and her late husband, Rene, was Capricorn, right? So these two astrological signs are both cardinal, as you know. Aries, however, is fire, and Capricorn is earth. And I'm really optimistic about goats and rams together because they have a lot to offer each other. And that's why this cosmic combo is very often found in real life, very successful in real life. I've seen it a lot. So both of these signs are ambitious and productive, and you have valuable lessons for each other. Capricorn can teach Aries patience, and Aries can show Capricorn how to take risks and go with their heart. The Capricorn may well be more mature and older, as in the case we see there with Rene, who was Celine Dion's kind of mentor. He discovered her. He was almost like a lover and father figure and producer. He was very much the older, wiser, experienced person guiding this fresh, young, exciting Aries with so much potential and vigor and enthusiasm. And that is actually quite typical. So, as I was saying, the Capricorn may well be more mature, or the older partner, and tends to have a guiding role in the relationship. You guys are very comfortable together, and family life is often a priority in this match. And I know that Celine was incredibly fulfilled when she had children. She was always looking forward to that, coming from a massive family herself, of course, her being the youngest of, I think it was 14 children. And I know that because of her career, she had her eggs frozen so that she would not forego the possibility of having children. Family life, of course, was hugely fulfilling to her. She said that while being in the studio and doing the relentless hours of vocal training, vocal warming became quite monotonous and boring and depressing to her, having a child just reinvigorated her life and brought so much joy to her. So family life, of course, very important. So often you may meet via family or a hometown connection. And I think Renee did meet Celine out of a family connection. It was her family that contacted him. So there you go. You see, the family connection brought him into her life. So this love match often has a slow start. Could be a little awkward at first because Aries are rather bashful in life and Capricorn are very slow to show their feelings. However, later on, things can get very hot as Aries discovers that Capricorn is a creative lover with a large sexual appetite. Capricorn bring to Aries a stability and a security while not boring the impatient Aries. Aries like excitement and spontaneity, and to be fair, Capricorn doesn't. Capricorn like to plan and have things arranged well in advance, and this can be a bit frustrating for Aries. But at the same time, Capricorn are often bemused by the impulsive Aries who rushes off to do things and then leaves them hanging up in the air. This pair do argue frequently. You know, it's quite a passionate combination, although they probably won't fight as such because Capricorn's fairly even-tempered. So they both have very strong views, which will be firmly expressed, and both of them like to be boss. But I will wager that the Capricorn will win most of the battles because Capricorn are more patient and determined. And while the Aries have forgotten all about it and moved on, right? So Aries probably win the battles, Capricorn win the war, just because Capricorn are more focused in the long term and will stick to their guns, where Aries tend to change their priorities and move on, and other things happen and Aries forget all about the conflicts. So Capricorn loves the fact that Aries is straight talking, and Aries appreciates the Capricorn honesty because you both know where you stand and you just give it to each other straight. There's no illusions here. This is a very pragmatic, down-to-earth relationship. There's not a lot of cloak and dagger. It's quite honest, quite upright, quite upfront. So it's a very forthright, a very functional match. And may your friends might think they know you, they will certainly underestimate your vibrant sex life because that is not always that obvious to others. So while fixed signs come together, when your fixed signs come together, it's all about sex. When your mutable signs come together, it's all about communication and company. When your cardinal signs come together, like Aries and Capricorn, it's to achieve and strive, and it's a very future-orientated, ambitious pairing who aim high and low because they build career and they also build foundations in terms of family. And this is a very family-conscious partnership who have traditional values and who often enjoy the whole idea of family life. And they also like to create a wealth that is shared. It's not really a selfish combination. It's about creating a strong foundation, a strong and prosperous future for themselves and the children that come along, and the grandchildren as well, because they're very interested in grandchildren. Aries can really enliven Capricorn because they have this irrepressible optimism and courage. Aries lead fearlessly. Capricorn can benefit and thrive because this balances their innate caution and patience. Aries can be helped by Capricorn to be more patient and persevering and to follow through on their goals. Capricorn and Aries are both a tad bossy. They like to make decisions and choose directions. However, patient Capricorn are in it for the long haul, and thus they usually get their own way because Aries think short term, as I say, and they've often moved on to the next thing, leaving any defeat in a wake of miscellaneous detritus that they've already forgotten. Aries sometimes can find Capricorn a bit of a stick in the mud, and Capricorn can be annoyed with the Aries' temper and lack of sensitivity. End of the day, the goat needs tenderness, love, and reassurance, and Aries are often self-absorbed and oblivious to nuance. Aries say it is how it is and want you to just grow up. But Capricorn could withdraw and keep emotional matters more buried, which can lead to depression, as Aries are just not as interested in deep conversations or in endless deep conversations. Or maybe the Aries are just not curious enough about Capricorn on a deep level, which is not satisfactory for Capricorn, and Capricorn could end up looking for emotional fulfillment elsewhere. Your sex life might suffer because Aries always have Capricorn pegged as sensible and authoritative, even a father figure, and that image doesn't really chime with a kind of rambunctious sexual relationship, right? So sex tends to be more down to earth. It's loving and it's comforting, but it's not really wild or experimental. It can be a lot more, more serious. It's kind of down to earth, pragmatic sex. Capricorn could perceive Aries as uncaring and careless about feelings. However, Capricorn do appreciate Aries' capabilities, and they do feel quite secure and confident with the Ram. You guys can definitely rely on each other, and while you argue back and forwards and you fight, you always make up again, as there's a strong pull back together, and you will strongly support each other's career aspirations. Aries sometimes find Capricorn cruel or hard, although you guys are both realists and you're partial to tough love. And so this is never going to be a pity party love match, right? You're not going to feel sorry for themselves and sorry for each other. Both of you are going to say, come on, pull yourself up by the bootlaces and let's just get on with it. You encourage that can-do, get-on-with-it attitude in each other. This is a very busy relationship. It's like a train station at peak hour. No matter what goes on, you're both too busy to dwell, and that's why you do tend to just crack on. Sometimes Aries despair at the Capricorn lack of spontaneous energy, and indeed you could accuse Capricorn of being a Debbie Downer, but you know that the goat tends to be right, even if it irks you to say that, Aries.